something. Yo, what's up, everyone? There's Nova. What's up, Nova? How you doing, bro? Actually, now that you're here, let me just start cooking. Start going with you. Can you hear me okay? Excellent. There's Bomb. What's up, brother? Thanks for stopping by, man. We're just doing some HLS coaching right now. We're gonna start with Nova. Now, Nova, we're like we discussed, we're gonna look at some of your matches and let's see. So you've played JK, Lisa, Sin. Let's see this loss versus Jago and see how that went. Now we're going to be looking at a couple of things from fundamentals to how you're weighing risk rewards in some of these situations. Most matches are going to boil down to risk rewards. Most decisions are going to come down to that, and is either going to be a how can you maximize the risk, or how can you lower the risk, and how can you maximize the reward, or if you can do both, even better. That is that's a fantastic question, man. There is so much to catch up, but that is currently I was watching. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was watching Grey's Anatomy. Yes, go figure. It's 20 something season show, and I stopped so that I could put that in the background and actually learn some things, focus in, catch up to the community. Man, that's been a great thing for me. Sometimes I even put it before I go to bed. That's awesome. But starting up with Nova, right? So Nova playing Sub-Zero Chameleon, RMJ go probably Janet who can. Yep.
Round one.
All right, so starting the round, we have at this point, and part of starting Chameleon, always keep in mind who you're starting with and always have a plan of what you're starting with depending on where you're at with resources. The biggest thing here is who takes the first hit. And Chameleon being one of those cameos that although she has a lot of utilities, um, her cameo tends to overextend. Most of her cameo usage tends to overextend. And so you got to be careful on the first hit because that initial bard is so important and oftentimes can really define the rest of a match just by a single resource. Yes, so thankfully Liu Kang is not that intensive when it comes to having one bar and obliterating you for it, but this is something to keep in mind. So now you immediately make up some space with clone. That's good. When you're often making space with clone, you have to think about this. Why are you making space with this character? Are you looking to have clone trade with a projectile? And if so, what's your goal behind it? Are you just wanting to play the full screen game? I bring that up because when we look at risk reward between Sub-Zero and Liu Kang, and we look at projectile trading and things of that nature, Liu Kang is more often than not going to have the upper hand, particularly with having Janet in the back and being able to confirm from the back forward three. But let's see how that plays out. Maybe Nova has maybe thinking of doing Chameleon to try to go for J Glide, and maybe try to get first hit or something going. Oh, just as I say that, so he does J Glide. Jago spends 1 bar to hit away the clone, and he hits Jade. As I mentioned, Chameleon, and this is a perfect example of that, tends to overextend, especially when it comes to getting first hit. Generally, Chi is going to get hit first. So if you are playing Chameleon, be very aware of that when it comes to getting the first hit. Now, Nova responds by spending a bar of his own with EX projectile as well. I'm not sure exactly what that one was about. I'm not entirely sure what the goal was there, considering that before you even try to make those reads, you try to read for movement. Okay, now Jago is staying at around this distance right here, and just dashing back and forward. Okay, this was interesting right here. So Nova does the clone, and again, so here's a big question. Are we doing clones just to do clones, or are we trying to have some other goal behind it? Now, you finally get him on your face, you do clone. Hopefully you were trying maybe to bait him into pressing button. I just saw bombs comment, don't ever spend bar on EXI clone. The only thing is that unless you're trying to eat a projectile, but it is so slow that you will rarely ever win a trade, and you have much better use for that bar, whether it is armoring Ao or something. So yeah, you were hoping for them to keep pressing. Now this is the very first round. There's no problem with that. There's also no problem with waiting and sort of gathering information. Either way, as long as you keep this information on what he does handy, then that's a win for you. So now you made space, then you forward dash towards the clone. So I don't know if you were trying to see him not pressing or anything. So you forward dash, stay by the clone. And this part is important. This is something definitely to be aware. He does the projectile right there, gets rid of the clone. If you're standing that close to the clone, more often than not, a projectile is going to trade with the clone, which leaves you without the negative frames of something on block. So you wouldn't have that on block interaction, which meant you could have gotten either a free slide or a free dash up for one punish. But with that, you both trade projectile. You're still back dashing out. Again, the goal here is for you to get something going. So you start with a little bit of zoning. That's good. You get some damage from the puddle. That's fine. That right there. Using that, this special for Liu Kang is going to be huge, particularly when in neutral, because the risk reward for him is there. If he gets you with it, he likely would have a lot of corner carry. He would get some damage out of it, but now he's right in your face. Both with the same amount of resources, but now he got a combo on you. Okay, he spends the bar. Goes for a throw, that's fine. Okay, so you wake up Mileena, he blocks it, respected. What do you do? Okay, you spend the bar. Oh no, okay. Yeah, being sharp on that, being sharp on your setups, particularly as Sub-Zero, who has to maximize every interaction, is crucial. So, absolutely. Facing your dive kick better. Okay, you got an ice clone. Generally, you wouldn't get that out, but I'm glad you did. So again, it just happened again where you had an ice clone put up as a barrier. He did a projectile, and you did nothing with it. Right there, he does this. You dash right behind the ice clone. at this point, understand the projectile is going to trade with the ice block. Wait, did he do EX? Maybe I'm BSing. No, never mind. I am BSing. He did EX. Nobody's a lot smarter than me. Oh, okay. I'm gonna talk about that one for a second. This right here, this interaction with down ones, stand 2, down 3, down 1. This, I'm gonna put a pin on that because it is so important for Sub-Zero. Actually, forget the pin. I'm actually gonna go into training mode right now. I think this is really important for us to talk about Nova. It is the mind game between down ones and down threes and down fours in this game. Particularly with you playing Sub-Zero. So let me just grab Sub-Zero. Ooh, I'm gonna grab 9.
Sonya Blade. Motaro.
So
The Tea House.
generally, unless you know that you can outpoke the person from a distance perspective, you generally want to stick to doing down 4. Why? Because the space that down 4 places you at automatically makes most down ones whiff. And it may not seem apparent initially because if you try to walk back, the down 1 is going to hit you. But notice this, and this part is really important for you to understand. So I'm going to set up Sector to do down 1 immediately. So this is going to make it so that, let's see, so, whoop. There we go. This is going to make it so that when I down 1 or there is a gap, he is immediately or she is immediately doing down 1. As you can see, it's going to punish me right after. So this is good. That's a good setup. Notice I'm the closest that I can be. If I do down 4, notice how the down 1 is in range to hit me. And even if I hold back, it's in range to hit me. So again, this is so important for you to keep in mind. However, if you backdash out of spaces every single time, the down 1, even at the closest range. Now, this is not going to happen if you stand still. It is not going to happen if you hold back. And it's certainly not going to happen if you just hold neutral duck. It is only going to happen when you backdash. The first initial frames move him quicker than if you were to just walk back. And he makes the down 1 out of space out. And this is important because for people like Jago, who right there just counter poked, you can backdash, you can mash backdash, and then immediately go for a 4-1-2 punish if they love to counter poke. So instead of going down 1, which is gonna get you punished, when you find the space, you're gonna do down 4, and you're gonna backdash and react to a poke, because then you can get your full combos from that point on, whatever that combo is. I don't know. Anyway, so again, down 4, backdash 4, 1, 2. Now, the biggest thing about this is, let's assume you may go, well, Project, what happens if the down 4 hits? This is best case scenario because you're at plus 14 frames. That means you can jail a back 3 and they have to respect it. That means you can dash up throw and they kind of have to respect it. You can go for your 2-1, which is going to jail from the down 4, and they have to respect it. And then at that point, you have many options. You can go for your 4-1 is not going to jail, but at least they're gonna have to respect that or armor out, and then you can go for mix 4-1-2. Sonya overhead 4-1-2-3. Yes, of course he has a gap, but the point is you're making them respect something if you hit him with a down 4. You can even just down 4, oh he hit, dash up down 4 again, and then if that one is blocked, then we go back to square one to out of spacing down 1 and trying to punish them. So this is definitely something you want to practice and make part of your mind game, which is how you're going to deal with counter poking. Counter poking is so big because it's going to turn a match on his head. So again, down 4, it is -7, but he auto spaces out of down 1 range. So if they are just at the very close distance, you're going to have to backdash. From anything less than the very close distance, you're going to have to, you can auto space by not doing anything. But I always suggest just backdash out of the way. Doesn't cost you anything. Now, this is not going to work for all down 1s. It's not going to work versus Sub-Zero. It is not going to work versus Melina. It's not going to work versus Astra's down 3. but it is gonna work versus other people's down ones. So keep this absolutely in mind. This will be game changing, Nova, when you're playing that sort of counter poke game. We're gonna watch another one of your matches, and then we're gonna move on to someone else. But so far from that match, if you're doing ice clone, do it with purpose. Are you creating space, or are you baiting? Because so far you were creating space, and then you were walking right out of the range that you just created, dashing back in and all that, and then of course counter poking. Bum, I will, after we're done with a couple of our HLS member. You myself are a goat. We all can use some coaching, but some of us can use it more than others. I appreciate you being here because you are pointing out some stuff that are very, very, very valuable. Let's do another one from Nova, and then we can move on to somebody else for now. Oh, I know. I just wanted to go at it with you. I like to argue with people. Okay, so let's go with JK. So you took 3 losses back to back versus JK. Let's look at that first one and go from there.
Round 1.
Thank you, Bomb. I appreciate you. That means a lot, man. And man, I've spoken with you sometimes. You know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. All right, so this is good. So we started the match immediately with a very oppressive, which is good. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. Thank you. So, Scorpion does this. Homework for everyone. Scorpion does this. EX Teleport. Question, can you react to this? And can you react to it safely? The answer is yes. You should always be able to react safely. Deed says yes, yes you can. He does not get to pressure you for free on this. This teleport is useful if you press something and he does it and he recognizes that you press something, whether it's a projectile, whether it's a button in neutral, then you have to worry about what he does. But if he just does it in neutral, you don't have to worry about a damn thing. He has to worry about what options you pick, which at that point you can stand one, you can down one, you can throw, you can do just about anything. So always watch when he does teleport, because it is not his turn if you didn't press a button. He goes immediately for 2-1-4 into Tremor, drops the combo, backs away. Now you created some space by doing clone. Now, again, this is where we have to start thinking about, are we making panic clones or are we doing them to create space? And if we are creating space, why are we creating space? Why are we doing just clone? What's the reason why we're creating this space? Always think about that. Get out of the habit of just doing panic clones, because he just knocked you down. You didn't even wait for him to do something. You just went clone. And then again, once again, you create clones and then immediately you dash up towards the clone. So this just tells me it is panic clone. You're not creating space. You're just doing it because it feels safe. Something else that feels safe is blocking, particularly versus Scorpion. Scorpion is not a very high threat of mix. He is not T1000. Don't be afraid to block versus Scorpion. So panic clones have to stop, particularly because Scorpion can react to panic clone with EX teleport and then pressure you. Sometimes even punish you, depending if it is a call out. So watch on that. Okay, down 4, going into that. That's fine. See, you are very much a sitting duck in neutral versus Scorpion, and it can be maybe unfamiliarity with the matchup or overall fear. But notice the movement here. Anytime you get, like, you move, you make a decision to move, and then you just sit there and block, which is not bad. But you are being very predictable and very still. I appreciate you, you too easy. Lil Dre, you're a bum. Later for sure. I definitely need some Kenchi, man. You know I do. You gotta help me. Okay? Here. So notice how you're just sitting duck there. And we're long past Tremor. JK beats backdash and then he forward dash and you're just still sitting here. Okay, you got thrown. That's fine. Okay, so you have 0.47 health. You do I would, I would if this was the final round, but this may not have been a great use of Fatal Blow. It does give you some time for breathing. I will give you that because he has been just hitting you anything. But this Fatal, unless you have 3 bars and he had no meter, and you had some sick set play with clones that would guarantee most times to hit, I wouldn't go for this Fatal, especially not round 1. He can have that. Okay, so we go. Fatal is done. Okay, on Oki you went for Ice Ball. That's the slowest, one of the slowest, if not the slowest move you have on both animation, startup, and recovery. But somehow he hit. So you're probably thinking with your 12 level in intellect, and I'm not. So whatever you did hit, I will suggest generally stay away from that as O'Keefe after a fatal, but it worked. What do you do with it? If anything, this is best case scenario. You hit him with a fatal, you have 0.47 health, you hit him with a Hail Mary, and so now you put him out of guess per game. He doesn't have breaker. This is definitely the smart choice. Go for some setup. Looks like he may have dropped, which is unfortunate. We saw this last time with RM Jago, so definitely, absolutely lab your setups. And of course, JK, on any press, he was just going to armor out. So, good.
Round 2. Fight.
Okay, you see again, you're sitting duck, you're not moving. And Sub-Zero definitely has a really good wave dash. So we'll talk about that more, but keep that in mind. When you're, and this is a prime example of that. When you're moving the way you do, Nova, it is easy to whiff punish you. It is easy to predict your movement because you would only throw out your move at a particular range. And since you're making that range very limited, you're keeping it the same all throughout, it's very easy to keep you at bay. But if you're coming in and out of that range, it's a lot tougher to know when you're gonna press those buttons. Oh no, that was a call out. Okay, goes for a combo. Doesn't spend a bar. Okay, you down one him out of the way. Sonya again. Once again, okay, good down 4. That was great down 4. And I don't know what the Michael Duck was for there, but that was a great down 4 there. All right, so final verdict. I think we need to have you practice movement. We need to have you practice counter poking. Absolutely need to have you practice your setups because your offense speaks of your talent. And then overall matchup knowledge. Scorpion, you don't need to be scared of crazy mix. He is going to he's going to press some buttons into a special, into Tremor to keep himself safe. There's no mix behind that. So don't be afraid to just dash in, dash up and block, dash up and press your quickest buttons versus Scorpion because he has to either commit to buttons and he's the king of safe, like less risky play with some reward, but at the same time there is no mix behind that risky play. unless he's looking to throw you. And when he has Tremor, he doesn't get any big threats from Tremor unless he has full Tremor and spends the whole Tremor meter. And even then, it's relatively not a lot of reward for that. So you don't have a lot of room to be worried about what he's pressing. Anyway, Deed says, a little off topic, but I keep dropping Rain's back 3 into Rain Gap Cancel in practice mode. I can do it 10 times in a row, facing both way. I can't figure out why I can keep that consistency in an online match. Because when you are practicing, you are much more aware of what your inputs are because you can just reset and reset and reset. When you are in neutral playing against someone, you have so much mental stack of anything else that it is going to play a role, which means that you are at the phase where you have to think about your input, even if you can get them consistently in training. You have to make a muscle memory, is my point. Until they're muscle memory and they're removed from your head as part of your mental stack, it won't work in your favor. So practice it more, keep doing it until it is muscle memory. And if easier, play against the CPU to try to get him going and have somewhat of a mental stack accumulated there. Can we help Ricity train for CO? I didn't even know Ricity was coming to CEO. That's cool. No, yeah, we do NGL training from time to time. So yeah, Rissy, if you want to play some games, for sure. Who else are we doing next from HLS? Who else is here from HLS that we can? Sinington, I got you, brother. Do you show here or not? Oh, you may show on the active side. Hold on. Hold on, Are you showing here? I don't see you anywhere, bro. Hold on. Can you add me? Send me an invite, actually. Send me an invite so we can review some of your matches. There we go. So, view combat card. I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. So everyone, for those of you who just joined, tomorrow I'll actually be reviewing with Faisal Combat. He will be breaking down Chang Soon and Kitana with me for Project Tea House. So as far as Sin goes, let's see. So we have some Johnny Cage, Omni-Man, Johnny Cage, Omni-Man. I'm trying to see who else is here. So let's look at well, you won that one. You've been doing pretty damn good. Hell yeah. Let's see this last one. I know you beat him before. You beat him first and then lost second, then beat him after. So you probably figure it out. But I still want to look at some of these matches. Do you have any matches where casual mostly? Is there any of them that is not casual? You know what? Let's just review this one for now. And then I guess next time we'll review some ranked matches. Round 1, fight. Right, so we got Sub-Zero, Frost, Johnny Cage. We definitely want to be in his face. We gotta watch for for Frost wake up attack, Frost setups. Let's see how you deal with this. Ooh, okay, that's right. Sin really likes to do shadow kick in neutral and just regular shadow kick. Always get in the habit of blocking low after the first hit of the overhead. If you already went out of your way to guess right and block overhead right after block low, because chances more often than not he's either going to go overhead mid or overhead low. There are very few teams where he's gonna go overhead, and most times is reactable. So always block low after the overhead. Make it a habit. That wasn't bad at all. That was actually a really good answer. Spend Mavado, spend Shadow Kick, and be out of there. No, that was a great answer. And a great throw. Back in the corner. Okay. Okay. Now, right there, you almost had a full Mavado, and this is a very important portion on resources. You are one hit away. He has Breaker. You now spend what is the equivalent of full Mavado. Yes, you spend half, but it didn't really do that much to make you either win or lose the round. It didn't really make a difference on where you were at that point. So maybe keeping the full Mavado to threaten with Mavado Bomb and take some risk and make things safe to either get them off their meter or allow you to use your Fatal Blow is the way to go. Using your resources correctly is a big thing, whether that's meter, positioning, and of course Cameo Bar. Okay, you're safe, but he's out of the corner. He hits you with a random slide. That's just life. That's Sub-Zero.
Fight.
Hold on.
Fight.
Okay, you had jumped at that point. At least meterless Shadow Kick, unless it's a punish. You definitely want to overuse your EX Shadow Kick to punish and get you in, particularly with things like you definitely have to figure out how to shut down Sub-Zero thinking he can do just things in neutral, because he can. Just like that, like Shadow Clone and things like that. Maybe pulling him in with Mavado after the clone. I know he caught you earlier, but that's because it was on the startup of the clone animation. But maybe reacting to the clone with Mavado could help. Good. Right there, I'm assuming you're just trying to wait for Mavado to come back, but the problem is, in the same sentence, you're also letting him wait for Frost.
You like that? Are you looking at me?
And I think him having Frost from full screen is much more valuable than you having your Mavado, especially when you have 0 meter to like get in and actually do something with Mavado, unless you're planning to do the Mavado pull. Okay, so you get him again with another Shadow Kick. Risky again because you didn't punish anything, but he got it to work. He baited a button. That was really good. Ah, that got him. Oh no, it didn't. You got thrown. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Johnny in general. And this is one thing that I want you to think about. Let me... Where's Johnny? There
Johnny Cage. Sector.
And we're gonna do Sub-Zero. At least in that match. I know Sub-Zero, you definitely have to play it different than anybody else. But... Mavado.
Mavado.
And Frost. Okay.
The Tea House.
Okay. Here's your big problem. This is ultimately and we talked about it. This is your neutral right there. And we're talking about risk reward. You are risking potentially getting combo into setup, because that's what Frost is doing, for south of 30%. Right? So whatever this is not a good trade. Spending half my battle to combo from dive kick. Johnny Cage thrives off of harassing you with this, harassing you with buttons. He thrives off of that. He thrives off chipping you out with damage. He is going to chimney you to death. He's going to look at you and ask you, please press a button so that I can press my mid and then go into a full combo. So you can always just threaten with this, and if you see a hit, absolutely go for whatever your combo is at that point, right? So always threaten with this. Always threaten with this. Instead, I see you threatening with this. The problem is, one, this has a gap, so that's the end of your pressure. Two, if it cannot be hit confirmed, so you're just hoping that it hits. And three, if it is here, so let me get that in. If it is blocked, you're at -6, meaning it is not your turn after. So you just gave your turn for a less combo damage, I think. Oops, whatever the combo is, but I think it does less. I'm not sure. It does 38, but you have to spend cameo. Versus if you hit with something like this, which is one, it is staggerable. It is not exactly punishable. It is -4. You can stagger it because of the threat of the last hit, which puts you in the same realm as this right here. But you don't have to go into that third hit. You can just keep harassing and making them guess when you're gonna press button. Oh, they press down 1, well, you backdash and got them for it. And the thing is, you can always hit confirm this into whatever else. And if you have full Mavado, then adding the throw to it, being able to throw and get some throw combos there is such a big thing. Get hype in there, get some throw combos. It is such a big tool for Johnny that we're just throwing away for a string that's not helping you, really. So just keep in mind, try replacing this string for stagger pressure, and mind games. And while you're doing stagger pressure, you can have Mavado recharge. And you can also go for this, which is semi-safe. He has a gap, yes, but if they don't spec it, now you're +8 in their face. So you have a way to get yourself some plus frames. And I think you may even be able to, look at that, that's +11. That's gonna jail into your 9-frame mid. So please keep this in mind. And you have one of the best wave dash in the game. You have one of the best wave dash in the game. For Sub-Zero, if you have a Sub-Zero player, and this goes for everyone, and they're doing this. Now notice how fast he can just machine gun this move. But he can only do that when you get hit. If you block this move, he is not going to be able to machine gun it at all. Hold on, let me have this go. There we go, random hidden. Okay, that's fine. He's not going to be able to machine gun it. See my input? My inputs are just going. He can machine gun it. And you can punish it from over here. In fact, you can punish most Sub-Zero stings from over here. So your job, really, is to be at this distance, dash up, do a couple of wave dashes, and wave dash to their face. So that if he does anything, which I think also includes, hold on, I think also includes this. And you can punish it out of the block range too. I will show you in a second. But if we are here, right there, can you punish it? No. But if you are out of there, like out of that distance, then you can. So your job is to be here, right there. Now you got a free way in, and now you can go into your Mavado, and now you have a punish instead of just dashing up and just doing this. There you go. So this is gonna be, if they're throwing this, just keep out of that range, backdash it, punish it. There you go. And then you can get your free way in. Yeah, that's what we're doing, man. So that's why we're doing this series. Sometimes we just go for the things that works for the general, and sometimes that comes to bite us in the butt. And it all it takes is someone looking at it objectively. And then, of course, if you don't feel like you can get out of the distance, then you can punish it and go for your other stuff. But always do it. Again, this is you minimizing the risk. It's not necessarily increasing your reward, but you are minimizing the risk in your approach. Oops. There we go. There we go. All right, let's watch one last one from Sin, and then we can go into someone else. As a Rain, I hate playing Sub-Zero. They just zone me out, and when I get close, it's Ice Clone. I hear you, D. Rain, maybe just using Rain Sub as a cameo may be the answer to all that. That's absolutely true. Hold on, I didn't put myself on... There we go. Now, let me... Who else are we going with? Who are we analyzing now? Is JK Beats here? J. Coldest, are you on now? So we can go over your stuff. That's right, I did say that. Never mind, I'm lying. But ultimately, I need to know if JK or J. Coldest is here so that we can do them after, and then we can go from there. So let's see another one. I wish you had more ranked matches and also more losses, but let's go Johnny Cage Omni-Man here and see what this looks like.
Round 1. Fight.
So EX Shadow Kick it's high risk, low reward, yes. More like high cost, low rewards, but it has the same level of risk as a regular Shadow Kick. In fact, it has less risk because you can potentially armor through something. So if some interactions in neutral will require you to EX Shadow Kick on reaction and take the little damage for the trade because it puts you in a better positioning. You may be able to get them to the corner. You may be in their face, just harassing them with forward 3, forward 3-2, forward 3-2-1 pressure. But that may be something for you to consider. If you have a matchup where it's hard to get in and you need to be in their face, you may want to let go of that bar to get in. All right, Omni-Man Mavado, Johnny Cage Mavado. Okay, so immediately he just went for an up-block. That was good. Okay, that was a 4-3-2. I like that. Okay, now when you're going for that, I can see what you're doing. You're going for immediately trying to go for Mavado stuff, which is good. And then again, you get him with a Shadow Kick in neutral, which hits. I will say you have a very high success of hitting with this, but this is also your nemesis. You're living and dying by the sword. Okay, that's a drop combo down 3. Sweep is really good. Sweep there wasn't really a bad choice. Okay, whiff. Yeah, once again, you're getting most of the damage from Shadow Kick. I guess Mike definitely has to realize he's getting hit with every single dive kick Shadow Kick you're throwing out. No up block this time, but he did read you right and he up blocked the last hit. Awesome. Oh, forward 4, that was interesting. I see what he tried to do there, but it didn't work out for him. Alright, another Shadow Kick, yep. See, you keep constantly ending your pressure when you're going for damage, you're trying to make him guess. And it's relatively safe for you to do that. Relatively, he does have a gap and he can armor out. But that's relatively safe, but every time you're doing that, you're ending your pressure. Every single time. Which is not bad. It works a little bit, but you can do better, for sure.
Bad choice.
Now, and this part is really important, Sin. I want you to understand this. there is only so many resources you have, and you have to use them well. If we notice this whole round, and we notice your use of Mavado, you because you keep doing that string and going for the low to try to get the Mavado consistently, or going for shadow kick to try to get the Mavado, you're only using Mavado under those circumstances, which means that when, and I want you to think about it this way, when you have Mavado full, you are wasting resources. Let me say that again. If your Mavado is full, you are wasting resources. And no, I don't mean that you should not have full Mavado. What I do mean is you should not sit on full Mavado. So you used it here, right? So you used it right there. I think it may have been the prior situation. But right there, right where you were at, you could have gone for any risk onto Mavado thing. Now, this worked out for you, and it worked out for the combo. But you could have done absolutely more to close out that match with the Mavado bomb. So, if anything, invest some time looking. I know you got some setups with Mavado bomb, but always consider using that much more. Especially because there will be a time where you're getting hit, and if your Mavado is full, now you're just having a resource that could have been filling up while you're getting hit. It could have been filling up while you're pressuring. It could have been filling up while, etc., etc. But if we go through the match, you should have any. I just showed you one. Just back throw into Mavado bomb, stagger, forward three. So there's so many things you can do when they're used to you doing forward three, and this is why it's so important for you to stagger.
Johnny Cage. Sector.
You can literally just throw. It just went into Sony. I don't know why. You can literally just throw Mavado bomb, and then do just about anything you want at that point because it is safe. Hold on. Let me get Mavado in here. So you can literally just even this. And if they're respected, if they're already respecting some of this thing, then you can do things like this. All right, they saw the Mavado bomb. Oops, my throw is not coming out. Right there. And that gives you enough time to get a hype going and then 2-1-2 into whatever combo. You did a kick, Mavado bomb. Whether you hit him or not. Yes, this is not going to be the same level of reward, but this is going to be safe. The biggest reward, and hear me when I say this, the biggest reward you can have as a Johnny player is being invited to the cookout. And this right here, this is the cookout. This right here, this is the cookout. Look at him dancing. This is the cookout right there. This is Johnny Cage cookout. The biggest reward you can get as a Johnny Cage player is be invited to the cookout. Now, sometimes they're not going to invite you because they don't want you here. I don't want you there. They don't want you in the cookout because you're going to cook. You're going to cook. You have the best single mid in the game. You're going to cook with this button. You have meterless damage that do not require your cameo. You're going to cookout. So they don't want to invite you there. So what do? You invite yourself. Right there, you just invited yourself. Welcome to the cookout, Johnny Cage. They can't do shit about it. Well, they can if they lab a punish directly for that, which very few people can, and some of them are still going to get hit. But you are right there invited to the cookout. Now we can play Mortal Kombat. Now we can play some Mortal Kombat. So, again, and at some point, they're going to realize you have full Mavado, you're going to do kick into Mavado, and they're sometimes not even going to try to punish, which is going to let you get away with throwing Mavado. And when you're doing this, you want the setups, right? You're doing this, they have to respect that. Let's go. What are you going to do about that? Are you going to jump back and then I can hit you or something? All right, I can do it right after. Oops, I can do it right after stand 3. What are you going to do about that when I can do literally... Oops. Because you can... So if I set sector to jump after block, all right? So here, there we go. So she's gonna jump. Like, what are you gonna do? You just jump. Whatever it is, but the world is your oyster at that point. And most of the stuff they're gonna do is gonna be risky. I think I may even be able to sniper out of jump. Sector is gonna armor out, but Sector's a bum. And you may be actually able to punish Sector with a shadow kick anyway. But I digress. There's nothing they're gonna be able to do about these things. You're doing things for free. This is your cookout. This is your show. They don't want you here. Anyway, I digress. You know what I mean. So, in theory, or well, in short, less shadow kicks to win neutral, more wave dashing, more shadow kick to punish things in neutral. So yes, you have to do your research on what shadow kick punishes and what it doesn't. Sometimes you're gonna have to do EX shadow kick and trade to get people off your back. Which, by the way, this is also versus Sub-Zero. This is all. Before I move on to someone else, Sub-Zero does anything. And hold on. Let me cook real quick. Sub-Zero should not be getting away with the stuff he's been getting away versus you in that match. Sub-Zero should not be able to safely do Ice Clone from any string ever, period. If you have a bar, that is. Now, what we're going to do is, alright, so I'm going to set myself to be right close. I'm cooking. I'm riding his face. So, and I'm going to set a couple of recording, right? I'm going to set Sub-Zero to do... I will go down one and then block. I'm holding block right after, right? I'm gonna do this, holding block right after. I'm going to do 2-1. 2-1, holding block right after. I'm going to just back away, right? I'm going to just back away. Block right after. Now, some of these, notice how that was a quick punish. That wasn't a punish. I have Omen reaction. That was a punish. Now, I'm not doing it on reversal. That was a punish. I'm trying to do it on reaction. Punish. 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 They should never get, and this goes again with using your cameo bar. Now, if you don't have cameo, any of these is gonna get shadow kick. If you have cameo and you just want a full combo or more corner carry, then you know do your combo from your shadow kick. And the timing is very, very generous, by the way. Oops. Anyway, so you get the point. Sub-Zero should not be able to do so many things that he's doing for free. No, he can't block at all. He cannot block any of those. That's a free punish on all of it. Triple clone is a joke for Sub-Zero too. You don't gotta be careful about triple clone. Don't listen to Nova. Forget about Nova. You got your punishes right. Practice what to do versus triple clone, but you have stuff you can do. And listen to him. Just practice. Anyway, are we doing Lisa? Are we doing JK? Are we doing J. Coldest? Who are we doing? Okay, I'm just gonna see whoever comes up that's on stream right now. So we have J. Coldest. All right. Ooh, J. Coldest Lust versus Dwarf on the King of the... Well, is this Dwarf or actually not Dwarf? Anyway, we're gonna find out. So J. Coldest lost to Homelander 3 times in a row. Homelander Farah at that. Now let's see. He's playing Sector Striker. All right, Nines, you may want to chip in on this. Immediately go toward Rising Karma into Farah. I have a lot to say about that move. So we're gonna break it down in a moment, but goes for striker, recognize the strike is gonna hit, beautiful combo, reverses to the corner. That was great. This right here was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. Into a combo, this is great, make him break, excellent. That risk was unnecessary as hell. You did not need to take that risk at all because the reward for that is Homelander is going to be still in the corner. You're not going to get a combo from it. You're not going to get any screen positioning other than what you had. You're only going to get whatever 9% or whatever percentage it does. It was not a necessary risk in any way, shape, or form. It was not going to close out your round. It was not going to give you better positioning. It was not going to get you a combo. It was not going to stop him from doing something. It was not a punish. So, yes, I'm going to run that back. So, again, he gets clipped with Homelander. He wakes up with just normal thing. He may have meant to do EX, but that's okay. Striker hits, reverses to the corner, and goes for setup. Beautiful work. Gets a combo, makes him break right there. This is excellent. A perfect way to turn the match on his head. However, this is the problem. Striker is in the corner. Striker has no bar. Jay Coldis is out of the corner. He has a bar. Sorry, Striker, Homelander. Jay Coldis is out of the corner. He has one bar. He has no cameo. What do we do? Right there. That was an unnecessary risk. Anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to replay it for whoever didn't watch it. Okay. I agree with Nines. You got the life lead. Start zoning him out. Make him desperate. He has no meter. He has to take risk to come to you. By you staying close, particularly after the risk you just took, you're just giving him more chances to keep you on a 50-50, and you only have one bar. If you let go of a bar, then he definitely has a chance to take the round. Anyway. Nice 1-1. I'm not sure. Maybe you went into poke special to hope catching him, poking back, but the problem is your risk reward is not there. If you had him, if you fooled him and he tried to counter poke after blocking down 3 and you hit him with the rockets, that would not have put you at winning, right? You wouldn't have won the round. You would have needed to take another risk. Well, whatever it was, even if it was flamethrower, whichever it was, that risk was not needed there from that poke. Okay, beautiful job, excellent press. Goes for safe jump, great, I agree. Exactly, Nines. He did not have Striker to back him up, so the risk reward was not there. Okay, get him with flame into Striker. That's beautiful. That was perfectly done. Excellent. Okay, stylish as hell. Oh, that's unfortunate. I can't even be mad at that. Was just unfortunate. Maybe you try to go for the knee into the safe OS. Okay. Now this is Homelander doing Homelander stuff. This looks like character unfamiliarity. He should not have done that poke special there. Nice, get him out of the air. Unfortunately, you didn't confirm, but that's okay. Mid check. That's gonna be the end of the round. Oh no! Okay, that was a bad breaker. Panic breaker. I'm sure you know exactly why. Okay. Well, we move forward from there.
The wrath of God.
You started really strong, making some of the best decisions. Some decisions were not great. Okay, that was a bait. I was concerned for a second, but that was a bait. That's good. And I'm glad you used Striker immediately because, again, cameos are a self-restoring resource. You gotta use them as soon as you have them so that you can continue to use them as much as you can. That's a big, so Nines just pointed out, you keep confirming with forward 2. Forward 2 has so much forward momentum, and he puts it at a weird angle that is going to make a lot of the things whiff. So figure out more ways to consistently convert off of small hits because those conversions are costing you. He says either 1-1 or 4-2 are the way to go. So think about those things from a sector perspective. Anyway, you did great getting this combo in here. Missed the extension with the striker, but that happens to all of us. Great throw. That was a great throw. Now, we got to think about this. Homelander is in the corner. You have life lead. He has 3 bars of meter. You got him with a throw. Your job right here is not to push to win right now because you don't have the resources to contest versus him. Maybe if you have striker and you made him break, but right now you don't have full striker. Which means if he gets you with anything, he can go into reversing the scenario, putting you in the corner, and now he has 3 bars and you don't have 3 bars to break. You don't want to go button for buttons with a character that's better than you at going button for button. So if I were you, I will back away at this point. Okay, so he uses the meter, goes right in for it. Does that meter use that decision to stay in his face just costed you the whole rest of the game? Because at this point he can kill with this combo.
Homelander wins.
That's a great question, Sin. How do you escape heavy corner pressure? Example, Shao's sector. All of it has counterplay. If you gonna do the overhead in his axeless stance, that's minus. It's not punishable, but you can throw him back into the corner and you can backdash. You can also take a risk with EX Shadow Kick into the Mavado Bomb to keep yourself safe. There is a lot of things that you can do, particularly with Johnny Cage. So, but all of it is going to be dependent on what they are doing, and so you have to be very aware of what it is that Shao does and why they think they do. So maybe breaking down Shao can. Maybe I'll ask Season Fox to break him down, or maybe whoever else is available at that point. Let's watch one more from. I will do maybe a Baraka Johnny versus Yagami. Okay. So let's do Baraka Johnny. Yes, absolutely. I'll talk to Season Fox. Thanks for letting me know, man. Let's see Baraka Johnny. And again, this is Yagami. That's my prodigal son. Yagami immediately using Sector because it's a resource that's going to keep building on itself, regenerating. So use it as soon as you have it. You have Baraka Jax. Let's go. Okay. I figure what you try to do with a button in the air and then drill to try to keep him grounded. It was a good thing. Yagami cracked 10-year-old on crack, literally just did something, the right thing. Because why wouldn't he? Okay, yeah, you can't throw that in neutral. You can't play neutral with that button. I think that's back 3. You can't play neutral with back 3. That's not one of your neutral button. You have stand 2, which is a great button. To play neutral for you, particularly not letting it rip like that. Something to keep in mind. Okay, goes for a safe jump sweep. Yeah, again, try to avoid doing back 3 in neutral. Back 3 is not your best button. It is slow.
Wasn't on the call sheet.
It is risky.
Round 2. Fight.
And again, that's a 3rd time that you've done back 3 in neutral. So definitely something to keep in mind. It is costing you games. You have other better buttons. Okay, that was a late cancel on Jax. That's unfortunate. Okay, so there he goes being a troll. Little bug. I'll beat his ass. Anyway, so dash forward would have definitely worked. So versus Johnny Cage, if you are Baraka, and we're gonna talk about Johnny Cage. Not Johnny Cage. Yeah, versus Johnny Cage. That's what I
Johnny
said.
Cage.
If you are Baraka.
Baraka.
Actually, I don't wanna. I wanna do Baraka here first, and then I wanna do
Baraka.
Homelander.
Baraka.
But we will talk the match about
Homelander.
for a second. It was Baraka Jax
Jax.
and Homelander Farah. Okay.
Farah.
So we're gonna
The
talk a
Tea
couple of
House.
things here, but what I want from you, Jay Colvis, is a different approach to neutral. This is not gonna do it. This is not. This is 13 frame. It's not that slow. It is also not that quick. And it leaves him very, very exposed. And if you do it, maybe to harass after a knockdown, sure. But you definitely have better buttons. This is +1. This is +1 at roughly the same range, just a slightly less amount of range. And yes, this is a high, but it recovers. It recovers quicker. This is 34 frames of recovery. This has half the time of recovery. This swipe. So keep this in mind. This is definitely your neutral button. This is your I'm gonna backdash away button. I'm gonna dash in button. That's definitely the button for you to use. Forward 3 does have its uses in some matchup, but this is what you want to throw out because of the less recovery. It's a less committal button. And with Baraka, you don't want to be throwing buttons in neutral either. You want to find a way to get yourself in, and you're doing a fantastic job with your spin stuff into what's the spin move anyway? There we go. Spin stuff into Jax to sort of get yourself in. Stick to that plan. Sweep is also a good button because it is +1, but you have to keep him you have to keep him in a particular distance, right? So absolutely, Sin. Thanks for coming, man. So sweep is a good button. It does push him forward slightly. So dash up sweep versus some characters is a really good option. Dash up stand 2 is a really good option because it is +1. It can lead into throws. It can lead into now back 3. It can lead into just about anything he wants to do from that point forward. But yeah, I want to see less of this, more of that. So, Homelander, you look very unfamiliar with the character. He is going to strive off of this distance into whatever it is from that point forward. So you gotta make sure you are neutral docking diabolical dash. And that's a hard thing to react to. I know it is. This is a hard thing to react to. But having some sort of awareness that you're gonna duck it, particularly at this distance, is huge. And if you are Baraka, another tidbit here. Another tidbit here. Let's see if this actually. Oop! I want to be at not full screen, default. What's his? Not that one. This one. There we go. Oop. I'm old project. Oh, it's a back forward move, like that. Oh, that's so annoying. That's so annoying. There you go. You can punish it at this distance is what I was getting at. With practice, of course. So don't be afraid. The reason why I say that is don't be afraid to neutral duck here. Because the only two things that he's going to do that are really going to threaten you are going to be lasers and they're going to be diabolical dash. If he does lasers from this distance, this is always a free punish. Oops. If you get the timing, unlike myself. I'm used to Melina back down ball roll punish. I didn't punish it. But you gotta actually practice it, because if you don't, you're just gonna get punished when you're trying to do this. So my point is, don't let him get away for free with this thing. Anyway, so but more things about Homelander going into some of this. The only button that hits mid is stand 3, but he gets nothing off of it. So don't be afraid to duck after you see Diabolical Dash come out. If he's doing float stuff, a lot of it, if depending on what button he goes into, you kind of have to respect. If he does this, for example, if you already block the kick, you have to respect what comes after. You can't up block because he is not up blockable. So he can, for example, do, let me have this dummy block. That jails. That right there jails. But he can now, for example, do this, stand 1 and then stand 4. If you see stand 1 come out after this, you can try to up block. The worst that can happen is it's gonna fall down and then throw you, or maybe down 4. So biggest thing here, neutral duck the throw, neutral duck the laser, practice punishing the laser, less back 3, more stand 2. Other than that, you play really good, particularly with that sector, and of course get better conversion with sector. Try to stay away from forward 2 conversions and move towards stand 2-2, stand 4-2. Stand 1-1, stand 4-2 conversion with sector. Deet says, okay, so if a lot of what you're showing, I know or I already know how to lab and test, but I struggle with flipping the switch to apply it in game. What's your advice here? Ooh, great question. And this comes up a lot. This absolutely comes up a lot, where you tell someone something, they're like, yeah, I already know that. Well, why don't you do it? Why are we not doing those things? All right, he can do fly stand 4, down back 3. Oh, the laser, yes, he can do fly stand 4, down back 3. That also jails. Yes, you're absolutely right. So Deed says, I know those things you're showing me. How do I... why am I not doing it? What's stopping me from doing it? Nothing. Nothing is stopping you from doing it. You improve how you practice. So if you know those things and some of this you are labbing it, how you're labbing it and how you are practicing are 2 different things. Again, how you're labbing something and how you're practicing something are absolutely 2 different things. So, let me give you an example, D. Let's say I want to get better at dealing with Johnny Cage doing... actually, let's say I want to get better at Homelander doing float or doing Diabolical Dash stuff. Let's go on this one, right?
Janet
So
Payne.
not necessarily reps, just how you're labbing at home. Is this a spam call? Suck my loan consolidation program. Whatever. God damn, he looks Super Saiyan as hell. Let me remove this real quick. That's scary as hell. Anyway. Hey, that boy, bro, I appreciate you, bro. You're awesome, man. You're freaking fantastic. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Means a lot. So, what I was saying here, D, how you're practicing and how you're training are 2 different. Sorry, how you're labbing and how you're practicing are 2 different things. So yes, while you're aware that some of these works the way they do, that you can duck Diabolical Dash, command grab, or Diabolical Dash into the punch. How you're implementing this in your training is really important, because otherwise when it happens in games, you're just gonna blank out. This is how I do it, and how I would recommend 100% that you try this. All right. So first, I'm just going to use the other player that's not Homelander, so I have access to record with Homelander. And what I'm gonna record is this. I'm just gonna do 4-4 into throw. Actually, let me make him block. I'm just gonna do 4-4 into throw, and then go for whatever it is at that point, right? And then I'm also going to do 4-4 into that, into Farah, actually, into Farah, and then I'm gonna do 4-4 into flight. Actually, let me do a safer option. Let me do that, okay? I'm gonna do that. And the next thing I'm gonna do is 4-4 into just Pharah stuff like that. This is great. This is great. That's one level. That's level 1, and then we're gonna turn this off so that we can't see what's happening here. So random hidden. So this is level 1. This is gonna tell me. Notice how I blocked immediately after I saw the dash. And the idea here is so that if he floats, that I don't duck or whatever it is. And if he does that, that I don't do anything else. Like that. That I end up blocking it. And that I end up reacting accordingly, right? So once you get yourself used to that, once you get yourself used to those options, right? There you go. Good. 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 Then you gotta go on level 2. You're gonna have to start punishing it. Exactly like that. Oops. I tried to flawless block. Go for a punish. Go for a punish. Go for a punish. Go for a punish. Once you're used to doing punishes on these things, then here's the second layer. Then the next thing you're gonna do is just randomly do other things in neutral and then go for the other options. Again, you're going to randomly do other things in neutral and then go for the other options. Whatever it is, right? This is gonna have some of these tell themselves apart, right? And then you can do whatever it is. I think that's the same option I use anyway. You get the point. And so this is gonna make it more of a real-ish scenario for when you're playing someone. And the whole point is exactly that. How am I going to? There you go. So that you're adding some sort of mental stack. And in one of them, you can even add a throw or whatever it is. Now, here's the other part. And once you're done with this level, once you feel like you're comfortable here and you know what the mind game is, you know what's going on, then, and this part is really important, it doesn't matter how much you practice, don't practice this and then hope you go versus a Homelander player in Combat League. Really important, do not do that. Do not spend 30 minutes, 1 hour practicing this and then hope that you run into Homelander. Because it may be 5 hours, it may be 2 days, it may be next week, it may be in tournament. Immediately after you practice that, ask anybody you know that plays Homelander to play you in a set so that you can start implementing it. And in that set, you're going to specifically look out for those things. Don't worry about win or lose. You're going to look out for those things until it becomes muscle memory. Again, the only thing you're in training for is for you to learn how to deal with and pattern recognition and being able to either duck or whatever your answers are. Then you got to take it out to the real world to do a real set with someone that's playing the character. And no, it is not ranked. You're not hopping in rank. You're not hopping anywhere because you don't have a guarantee that that character is going to come into it while the knowledge is fresh. By the time you get to play them, you're probably going to forget. You're going to be flustered. You're going to be overwhelmed. Ask anybody you know, whether you like them or not. Put your pride aside and ask them for a long set. And don't worry about losing or winning. You're probably going to lose because you're looking at those things. And they're probably going to realize you're looking at those things and they're going to do something else. Don't get flustered by that. Just focus on what you just trained so that you're able to recognize it in a real match. And then you can go from there. I hope that helps. That's ultimately what I do against anyone. I know I've anybody that's here that has BM me before has probably received a message from me, hey, can we play a set? And that's after I've gone and labbed whatever answer I needed to come through that works for my character in that particular matchup. All right, I have time for one more before I get back into working. Anybody else from HLS that wants any sort of review from some of their matches? And if there's not no one else that's here from HLS, anyone that's not from HLS that wants to review some matches, now will be the time I can do one more. You need to go into level 2 or 3. That would be awesome. Okay, yeah, Deed, we can do you. We can do we can take a look at your matches. I know Lisa was here earlier, but I'm not sure if she's here anymore. If she is, we're gonna do Lisa, of course. If she is not, if she comes back later, then I can do another session with her. I don't see you, Deed. Did I pass you or something? What's going on here? Oh no, Deed blocked me, yo. What's happening? Do a 9's loss. So basically any match. All right. What's your? Can you send me an invite to a game, Deed, so I can? Oh, it's X, right? Because it starts with X. Man, I was so far off. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it this way. I don't see it at all. Okay, let me look at your Warner Bros. The 504X. Okay. Accept the friend request so I can go into your matches. I appreciate you, Bossman. Again, for those of you that just joined, we are doing some coaching and reviews of matches. We're looking at some replay taking over, and ultimately with the hope of either closing the gap between some character or matchup knowledge, and doing anything we can to help at this point. Tomorrow, I will have Faisal actually breaking down Shang Tsung and Kitana for us. So, oh my bad, Lisa, I didn't know you were still here. We're gonna break down a match from Deets and see where we go here. Let's see. So you took quite a few L's from Wits. Wits is of course fantastic player, so let's see how we did versus Wits and what we can sort of recognize in the process. I'm gonna look at one of your matches after Lisa, if time permitting, of course. So we have Ermac Sector, Raiden Sector. Going into the Souls thing was a great option there. I have to respect it, because he had full sector. If he hit you, then it wouldn't have been 50% of your life bar gone, because your meter will be gone. So, not bad at all. Oh, okay, those are old. Okay. Let me exit replay then. How do I know which ones are not old? Sorry, I'm a whole unk right there. My goodness, if I only knew what I was doing. All right, so because they are starred. I see it. Okay, I got you. So who do you want me to go for at this point? Oh, and they had dates too. Of course they did. Oh, I see it. All right, so let's go into this. Okay, so you won versus this reptile. You ended up losing to this Sub-Zero player. Okay. Let's see what Sub did. I actually want to watch the second one, because you probably implemented some new things after losing. I want to see what happened.
Round 1. Fight.
Okay, so Sub Chameleon, he's already starting with Kitana. Your job as Rain, and this is some of the questions you asked with Rain Sub matchup. This is good. So he cheesed me, but that's on me for not adapting. Okay, we'll see what went wrong. So, notice this. This is really important. You started the match, you backdashed twice. He did Ice Clone from full screen, where he got no space from it. This was silly. So, this almost looks silly. Look at that. I am assuming there you meant to go for back 3, so I will give you that. Um, I will say try to do dive kick whiff punish with a different button, maybe stand two, and go for the full string. Because if you do somehow miss it, at least you are not gonna get this input error. And yes, sometimes you have to keep in mind doing, taking care of potential for input errors when you're backdashing. So what did he do? Did he do down one and you try to down one back again? Or what happened? Okay, he did 2-1. Right there. Could have been a perfect time to do EX Far Geyser into Janet and go for a full combo. That's okay. See, once again, you go for back three. Back three is too slow. Use a different button to punish dive kick. That's twice he has failed you. Something for you to consider. This would have been two different punishes with either stand one or stand two. I know you were scared slash conditioned, but you weren't scared enough to try to punish with back three. That's my point. If you decide to go for a punish at that point, even if it's just 1-1-4, right? 1-1-4 is gonna leave you very plus on cancel. Even if they decide if you didn't do a fast enough and and they went for a block. So something to consider. Okay. That was a good stand one. We're gonna have to do something about that ice cloud. It really is shutting you down completely. Nice. That was really good. I was almost worried because he was just throwing buttons out in front of your face and you were not doing anything. That was really good. Okay, notice how you did stand one twice and he still didn't poke. And you keep poking when he's blocking. You can get so much more from just going stand 1-1-4 or something else. I'm going to do the 3 levels of labbing you just said practice against Ice Clone. I'm already on it. Excellent work. Okay, that happens to everyone. That's cool. Okay. And you got the full combo. Kind of messed up the setup there for a moment. Yeah, Ice Clone is absolutely getting you. Okay, he's in the corner. No, that would have been perfect to go for setup then, but that's okay. Still got life lead. Okay. Oh, he caught you on the jump. Interesting.
Final round.
Remember, Far Geyser is always gonna punish Ice Clone. Always. That's why he said no. He's awesome, bro. Love that kid, bro. Okay, now he's just baiting you. Okay, he went for the brutal. Let's talk this matchup out. And that's fine. Yeah, so you're focused lately. Sup, Night Viper? I appreciate you. strategically unpredictable. There's nothing wrong with your character and your approach being predictable. Think of Ryu from Street Fighter. He works because he works, because he works, because he works. And what I mean by that is, there's nothing wrong with something working, even if it's predictable. Don't be afraid of that.
Sub-Zero.
But your defense absolutely has to be impeccable for matchups like this, particularly when someone is just pressing buttons and doing the same things. The amount of dive kick this person did versus you was incredible. And so let's start there. I want to start there. I want to start with breaking down dive kick before we go into Ice Clone stuff and get Chameleon. So dive kick, for the most part, the last sequence was me dropping combo 3 times. Yes, he was. I saw. Dive kick, at the very least, is going to be like -1 on block, but that has to hit him at the very tip of the toenail. For the most part, you're gonna see -5, -6, or punishable. So right there, that was -2. You can make it -1, but again, really hard for Sub-Zero to do that because he has to hit you on the spirit of the toenail of your ancestor. 0, actually, at the very, very end. But for that to happen, he has to basically play neutral with dive kick here. Which this is a problem because dive kick on recovery is 23 frames. So Sub-Zeros are never going to be doing dive kick like in neutral to like get it at the very tip because it is very easy to make it whiff. And this is your best case scenario. If they're already high enough, so here's what you have to remember about this matchup. And this is something for you to consider. If Sub-Zero jumps at you, anytime he jumps at you, any single time Sub-Zero ever jumps at you, your answer should always be backdash, and I will explain why. So let's play again this recording. Sub-Zero, let me do player 1. So Sub-Zero jumps at you, he does Ice Clone, blocks, okay? Sub-Zero jumps at you, he does dive kick from over here. Now that dive kick was -11. I will do something about it and block. That's punishable, right? Let's do a dive kick that's closer, like that. That is less punishable. I didn't even get to see it because 9 was saying something. Let me see. That one was -8. I want to make it safer. -9. That was not safer at all. Right, there we go. -8. Anyway. There, -3. Right. So they want to make the dive kick safe because the other one was unsafe. And then the last thing I want to do is just jump kick. When Sub-Zero jumps at you, your intuition should be jumping back. Because if they did safe dive kick, they get punished. And no matter the distance. Notice I did the higher dive kick or the lowest dive kick. It does not matter. Oops. There we go. It does not matter which dive kick if you do the backdash right. Anyway. And then of course if they're just jump kicking you, then you can hit them on the whiff, on the landing. But you should always aim to backdash. Even if they just do clone, then we just reset neutral, and now he can't use clone anymore. So, not with back 3. You can try to use back 3 once you get used to this, but I just find 1-1 to be much more reliable. And then you can go into anything else. Oops. So again, Sub-Zero is jumping at you, your answer should always be walk back, backdash. Because even if they do the safe dive kick, again, you're always going to be able to punish it. And if they do Ice Clone, then you're safe. Moving on to, do you have any question on that before I move into Ice Clone stuff? Because that's where we're headed. doesn't seem to be the case. But if he does ice clone in your face, actually, let me move this close. Nope, you understand. You got it. Excellent. Sub-Zero does ice clone in your face. This is not a good situation. Yeah, go for it, Nova. What's the situation? And let's go back to this. I know you were laughing some of these things, and then I'm just gonna do ice clone by itself. Train yourself to punish it, but with Far Geyser. Oh wait, maybe he doesn't punish it. Oh, he does. Okay, yeah, he does. I'm just slow project. Oh, maybe not regular. There we go. Funny enough, even if you just do 5 Geyser and it's blocked at that range, I'm not sure there's not much he can do about it. There we go. Oh, my reaction timing is so slow, man. There we go. Kitana fan lift. What about it? What about the Kitana fan lift? Now, I wonder... Oh, look at that. If you feel like that's a hard punish, this should be an intro weight to that. Oops, not that. Something for you to keep in mind. Oops, not that. Not that either. Can you punish her there? Nope. Nope. This may be something interesting to explore. Fan lift, do ice ball, fan lift, throw it right in front of them. Oh, down back one is not gonna work out for that. Down back one is too slow. An EX guys, an EX kick doesn't. You can also get rid of the ice clone with this, but it just gets eaten up. Yeah. Yeah, that won't work like that. Then maybe really what you have to do is just block it out of the way. Like that. I like this option, just sacrificing Janet too. To try to get in, even if it's not a punish. Oh, that was a punish from down one, but it's still hard. Yeah, you do have to read with the armor. I mean, that punishes it. You have to do it fast. But if anything, at least it gets rid of the clone. And I'm getting more used to the timing for this. That's why you usually reset neutral. I get you. Nova, what do you mean by do ice ball, lift it, throw it in front, throw Kitana in front of them? Like do ice ball and then try to do Kitana like this? Oops. Like that? I can tell what Nova meant, chat. Yeah, what about it? Like, is it helpful? The only problem with this is the startup. The startup and the fact that the ice ball is... I mean, you could try it. The fact that the ice ball is a high. I mean, I guess you meter burn it, but even then... If anything, could be a quick way to get in. That part is valid. But they can still likely up-block this. Hold on. They could probably just up-block that. Let me go full screen. Oh, I didn't catch that. Did the opponent do that on him? That's funny. Yeah, there's plenty of options out of here, I would say. Didn't even back dash right before the clown. Yeah, there's plenty of ways to. I walked back actually on that one. That's crazy. That's funny. Duck it back. Just jump back. Well, can that work? There we go. Yes, it does. Putting Janet in front of you. Anyway, no, it looks like Ice Clone definitely shuts rain down, at least in many different ways. So resetting back to neutral may be your only way, then I mean, that'd be a fantastic matchup for him. So maybe that sub cameo is really gonna be your one and only getaway vehicle. On that note, I think that's Lisa, are you still here? Do you want to do yours now before we disconnect for today? On Wake Up itself is not that bad, cause on, oh, it's too late for you. I'm sorry, hon. Next time, absolutely, I got you. We start up with you next time, of course. Wake Up itself is not as scary for Sub-Zero to do. Oops, let me go rain. For Sub-Zero to do Wake Up. No, actually, I want sub, and I wanna do custom dummy. Okay, and then I want to be close. Okay, so Wake Up itself is not that big of a deal if you're playing your cards right. So if you're, oops, let me have it not on block. So if you're ending and this is where you're going to think about what you're ending your combos with, because if you end your combos with this, then you're gonna have a hard time trying to meaty. So let's see. And then you gotta figure out which button you're gonna meaty with. But generally, when you're meeting an opponent, you should be able to hit the Ice Clone every single time. That was, of course, not a meaty button, but yes, safe jump and meaty is what you want to do versus Sub-Zero. So like that. So this was a safe jump. Oh, there it is. It just took a little bit of a long time. See, like that. The safe jump hit me, even though I did a get up reversal. Ice Clone. So you want to meaty your buttons, and you also want to safe jump. So if you don't have any safe jump, you can even take this one I just did. Brain has a ton of safe jumps, but safe jump is going to be both wake ups. You're gonna be able to block in time if he does. I didn't set myself to block, so it's not gonna block, but you should be able to block the slide in time while still hitting the clone on the startup frames. So To deal with clones on wake up, you're going to have to meaty or safe jump. That's always gonna be the way for Rain. Um, you can practice if you don't have safe jump. You can practice meaty setup after your combos. So if you did something like this, what button is gonna meaty from there, and then see how that's gonna work. So let's see. I'm just gonna see if that one meaty. Yeah. So I was not able to wake up reversal there, for example. So depending on your timing, forward two is going to be ice clone every single time. Just gotta make sure it hits meaty. So meaty and safe jump. That's gonna be your answer, brother. All right, y'all. Thank you very, very much for spending some time with me, for going over to some of these matches, for coachings. I my YouTube, call me Project on YouTube. If you all have questions, submit them to me by DM. I'm gonna be running these more often. Let's talk things out. Let's try to make the community a little bit better. Let's try to bridge that gap and get better as a community. Thank you all. Thank you very much for joining.